Kia ora everyone, Chris and Sam here. This is your quick update on what's been happening in the New Zealand real estate market. So Sam, let's just get into it, right? So housing market's starting to head into neutral. We've got the latest sentiment results from our broker survey. What are we seeing there?
Yeah, so most of our agents in residential, rural and lifestyle are reporting pretty neutral conditions in the market right now. And for commercial, are slightly less positive. But the most common challenges that came out of that survey, we're dealing with buyers. Agents are finding that the overwhelm of choice in the market over supply is reducing urgency for buyers.
Yep.
And for vendors, it's the price expectations that are slightly higher than the market. So
So it sort of shows that benefit of making sure if you're looking to sell your house that you've got a realistic appraisal, because if your expectations are too high on price, like the chance of a successful sale is a lot lower. So
yeah, for sure.
That's really useful. And then next up we had a government announcement around housing development.
Yeah, so the announcement kind of covered some ways that they're wanting to support greenfield housing development on the edge of cities. So how they're doing this is a $100 million loan fund to help developers with that housing infrastructure, and then some easier financing with lower cost loans, and cutting some of that red tape around the Resource Management Act to open up some land. And an interesting thing they put there is it could open up land equivalent to the size of the Waikato region. So, which
is interesting, right? Because Waikato region is huge.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That's real cool. And then kind of associated with that, but indirectly, as we released our latest Bayelys Insights development land market update.
Yes.
Yeah, so what's been happening in that space?
Yeah, so this kind of covers the biggest trends and kind of what the outlook is for the next 12 months. And a couple of the key points there, interest rates starting to ease and investor confidence is starting to grow. Similar to that theme, developers are pivoting to kind of regional areas outside of the major cities for reasons of infrastructure and feasibility challenges. That's covered in that.
Yeah, it's quite cool. And that theme around moving into the region seems to be quite strong. Like Queenstown Lake's doing really well. Like our teams down there are selling stock through really well. So could be an interesting one to think about. Cool. And then next up we've got our weekly sales snapshot. So this is some recent auction sales that have gone through our network. And this week, Sam, we're doing character villas.
Yeah, 2 character villas.
Yeah, sweet. So mate, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so this property is 2A Collingwood Street in Freemans Bay. Urban Ponsonby Oasis, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms on 372 square metres. Traditional villa with lashings of street appeal, views of the Sky Tower. This one was marketed by Edward Pack from Bayleys Ponsonby and sold under the hammer for 3.915 mil.
Yeah, cool. And then I've got one sort of just around the corner, 9 Sherwood Avenue in Grey Lynn. So charming villa, 3 bed, 2 bath on 464 square metres, high ceilings, polished timber floors and timeless villa detailing. Premium city, fringe location. This was marketed by Robin Clark from Bayleys Ponsonby, sold under the hammer for 2.18 million. So it gives you that sort of price spectrum around those neighbourhoods, which is always interesting. Next up, so going offshore, a little bit of international news, this one out of the Economist. So they released an article looking at why rents are rising so quickly around the OECD, so around rich countries. And it's a pretty consistent theme. Like if you look at a whole bunch of countries, whether it be New Zealand, Australia, France, they've been finding rents are rising quite quickly, even if the housing markets have been a bit subdued. And I looked at some of the factors, and these sort of things are always interesting because we quite often will blame local factors on what's happening, but a lot of the factors are sort of being experienced by multiple markets. So in terms of rising rents, it honed in on 3 key things. One is that with higher interest rates over the past couple of years, housing affordability has been more difficult, and the impact of that is it's basically pushed more people into the rental market.
Right.
The second is that migration trends have tended to see more foreigners coming into rich countries, and typically foreigners are either blocked outright from buying homes or they lack credit history and that sort of stuff to be able to raise a mortgage, and so as a result they end up in the rental market. And then the final one is that construction costs and sort of housing supply have been a problem in a lot of rich countries, and that's just led to this pent up sort of imbalance of supply. So pretty interesting to see that, because you could see how those themes would be applicable to New Zealand.
Yeah, for sure.
It did, however, say that some of this might be easing, so rental pressures might ease as lower construction costs come through, lower interest rates come through, and I guess if you look at the case in New Zealand, maybe a softening of the migration pattern. Yeah, so
Cool.
yeah, just a good little article.
Yeah.
And then finally, Sam, to wrap up, we've got property of the week. So, mate, what have you got for us this week?
So a property in Westmere, 2A Winsomere Crescent, Westmere contemporary coastal, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom freehold new build, steps away from the Westmere coastal walkway. It's got that Sydney side feel, pretty cool. If you're interested in this property, you can get in touch with Christina Cesares from Bayleys Ponsonby.
Yeah, cool. And then for me, I'm down at the Mounts. I've got 233C Oceanbeach Road in Mount Maunganui. Luxury beachfront home, 5 beds, 3 baths, coastal sanctuary, panoramic ocean views, sophisticated design, resort style living, unbeatable location with direct access onto the beach. If you want to learn more about this one, contact Conrad Doyle or Kay Ganley from Bayleys Mount Maunganui. With that said, we'll wrap it up here. So thanks very much, Sam.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, sweet. And we'll see you next week. Ciao.